I2B Foundation is set up to support in every way possible all who have ideas and want to develop it into business ventures to help build Mother Ghana and the world at large. We are also set up to support all entrepreneurs who need to scale up, and that we would accomplish. To our board of directors and funding partners, Mr. Emmanuel Kinatha, we have just turned the engine on to take the world, and we are poised to do that. To our prime sponsors and funding partners, overseas students, and I would want to seek or to appeal to you, please let's clap for our main sponsor, overseas students. We have one of the best giant sponsors for Idea to Business wherever we go, and we are proud of them. Can assure you that very soon in Ghana, we will be the only institution to use 18 months to acquire your first degree, and that is on the table as we speak now.
Traveling and studying abroad has been made easier and possible by Overseas Student House.
We have all the answers to your dream of studying in the UK with our official partner university,
University of West of Scotland.
We offer accommodations for students.
Our well-trusted and respected organization will take care of all your traveling needs.
At Overseas Student House,
we make sure all your dreams of studying abroad come to reality.
Locate our office at Dansoman Main Road,
Sahara, next to the EcoBank.
Or contact us on
024-228-5037
or on 020-317-3713.
Send us an email
on info@oshghana.com
or visit our website
at www.oshghana.com.
You can also contact us
on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter at Overseas Student House.
Overseas Student House,
we pride ourselves in your success.
To our prime sponsors and funding partners, Overseas Students, Strat Consult, Finance Mineral Water, Multi-Bella Designs, and Atinka FM, we would continue to make the difference to make you proud. To our honorable speakers for today, this is the platform for you to give to the world.
There are three things I want to talk about. I want to talk about credibility. I want to talk about time. And I want to encourage you to believe. If you are an entrepreneur, anybody can be an entrepreneur. When I say this, people say I'm wrong. No, you know, when you show up at somebody's work and you show up every day, you are supposed to be at 8:30, you are there. You do what you are supposed to do. You are supposed to leave at 5, you leave. You are an entrepreneur, it's just that you are using that service for someone. So I believe everyone has what it takes to be an entrepreneur. Those who delve into entrepreneurship don't have two heads. They are normal human beings like you. They go through the same challenges you go through. Most of the entrepreneurs that are successful, I think, are successful because they decided to show up until they make it. It's easy to give up as an entrepreneur, and most of us here will know. I'm sure there are people who are even considering giving up, but I'm telling you, don't give up. Just show up every day, do the right things, put in the effort, and it's only a matter of time. You are going to shine. But if you're going to show up, you have to believe. You know, sometimes when you're an entrepreneur sharing a vision, the one standing next to you might discourage you. You know, let me tell you a story. So, when I was building my first house, it was in Anya, and I was about 26. I was really excited about it. If you know the Anya Woshi Road, it was a very terrible road then. Then I went there with my girlfriend. She had come from England, I had this V boot, she was sitting in it, she has raised her legs, she's put it on the dashboard. Then we're going out, every time I'm talking to her, I'm talking about my site. Then we got to the site and it was on a hill. So she was relaxed in the seat, her legs on the car, and she says, we now in a debia site, no. Hey! If my carpenter was here, he would tell you, 2 months I didn't go to the site. My bemu said, top. You have to believe. Today, look. So you, the entrepreneur yourself, must believe that whatever you are purporting to do, whatever you are looking to do, can happen and it will happen. I'm of the strong opinion that your thoughts become your reality. What you constantly think is what you become. So if you are here and you want to delve into entrepreneurship, watch how you think. If you are thinking too much that you will fail. Start activating good thoughts. Picturing the things that you want to achieve. I go to a land and I'm like, we'll do this. And that's what we do. And constantly, I'm thinking and picturing what I said we will do, and I'm sharing it with a team, and we are moving towards achieving that. The design you just saw, that one, it's my personal design. I'm the architect who designed that building. It's bespoke to Saka Homes. If you look at the roof, if you look at the cantilevers, I don't think there's, if you've seen anyone doing it, then they are coming from the original. I own that original design. I came up with it. I talked about time. I'm of the strong opinion that time is money. Vincent, was I late? I'm never late. I'm hardly late. I actually use time to a fault. If you are dealing with me and it's to do with time, you might be upset or you might not like me. But I don't play with time. I use time for a lot of my decisions. If you come to me for a loan and I say, call me Tuesday at 2 o'clock, and you call me Tuesday at 3, you're not getting the loan. It means that you won't pay when you say you pay. If we have a meeting and you don't show up, or we have a meeting, I don't know if you experience this in Ghana, so we agree, Vincent, we will meet on Monday at 2. We have agreed, and at 1:50 you get a call. Vincent, near Shia 2. Say, meeting a bebaso. Haven't you experienced that? Guys, I think that is one of the things that we should change. As entrepreneurs, we should be serious about our timing. If you say, I will deliver on Tuesday, think about it before you say it. Don't just be given time. We are in a country where we don't value time. People just give you time and they don't even know what they are talking about. Usually as entrepreneurs, we set out to do A. But the fact that you set out to do A, if A is not happening and you find B, do it. I'm going to tell you 3 different stories. I used to be in Unity Hall in Tech. I'd always walk through Report Annex, through Republic Hall to Queen's Hall, for those of you who know Tech. And I'll go and play pool with my friend Nia, who I didn't give the 2,200 euro to. We will play, College of Arts, we don't do anything. Art. So we will play pools. The whole semester is pool play. That time we were drinking Castle Milk Stout and going to Kirapi and the other one in Haidu. But I'll always walk through Report, where they used to sell popcorn in front of the dining hall. So one semester, I came to school and I realized that the popcorn seller wasn't there. So I inquired and they said, the lady finished and she took her machine away. Prior to this, I'd gone to Tech to visit. before I entered tech, and I realized they had a lot of photocopies. A few weeks later, I was reading the graphic, and I saw an ad by SNV. It's an NGO in airport. They were auctioning some things, and one of it was a photocopier. I told my mother about it. Fast forward, I put in a bid, I won it. When we were at STC, people were carrying suitcases. I was carrying my photocopier. I put it in Akito. Every week at that time, I was making money. So Fridays, the guy would bring the money, would take some for toner, would take some for paper, the rest, spedede. We'll go and chill. So I had some money. So I called my mother. I said, oh, I have spotted an opportunity in report. The popcorn girl has moved the machine. I think we need a popcorn machine. Long story short, I bought a popcorn machine. I found someone from Eija to use the popcorn machine. I put it in report. I started making money from popcorn. So now I had photocopy and popcorn. My time in tech is one of the best times in my life. I had a wonderful time. Wonderful time. What am I saying? All I'm saying is that learn to spot opportunity. I didn't go to tech to sell popcorn, but I saw that opportunity and I took it. That is one. Number two, I was hassling my friend who had joined Fidelity for business. I wanted to sell to them paper, anything, maybe entrepreneurship. It started as anything. I just wanted some money to survive because I didn't want to work for anyone. Then, through all this guy was always tossing me. Then one day, out of frustration, he said to me, Charlie, make you not disturb me. It be water we need. Paper, make the paper. I said, what type of water? He said, the whole building, see the street tower I did there? There's no water in it. The bathrooms are still. I said, oh. I remembered that there's a guy at Taifa Junction called YF, and he has tankers. So I told him, I can supply the water. I quickly went to YF. I went to negotiate with YF. I had some small money. It wasn't enough. So I bought tanker loads of water. I sat in the tanker. We went to Red Tower. We started. Fidelity was the first building that came into Red Tower. So every day we were doing 2 trips. And in Ghana, this thing I'm going to tell you, whether you like it or not, if you want to do business in Ghana and you want to go and take your money and go and you give somebody something, you will suffer. So every day I make 40 cedis. I give the guy 10 cedis out of my profit. So the business was growing. Every day I'll go and deliver the water, blah, 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 blah. Let me escalate it. In no time, Brawl Ghana came to take over all those Smith Towers. The one who's been supplying them water, who would they call? Me. All of a sudden, I had 6 towers to supply. Imagine the day he said I should supply the water. I told him that I came here for paper. So I'm not interested in water. I don't know. Because this is a no-brainer. Someone has a tank. I go and buy the water. I come and deliver. I put 20 cedis on it. So we are all entrepreneurs. We just have to learn to spot opportunity and take advantage of it. Saka Homes, that has given me my greatest breakthrough. I'm not a giant yet. When they say giant, I'm confused. Saka Homes, I didn't set out to do Saka Homes. I actually didn't set out to do real estate. I was just trying to build a house. Then someone, after I built the house, I was 27, I was single, 4-bedroom house. I didn't have need for it. So I decided to put a sign on it to let. I couldn't afford a graphic designer, so I just took some board and wrote on it to let, and I hung it on the pergola. A white lady and a white man and a lady walked to me, and they said that they were informed that the building was for sale. I was shocked. I hadn't even thought about it that the building could be sold. So I told them that my boss wasn't there and I will check with my boss and get back to them. Long story short, I sold that house for $88,000. I'm sure most of you have heard this story before. And that is how I realized that I could build houses to sell. Let's learn to spot opportunity. You know, it's not going to come in the form that you might have thought of, but when it comes, grab it.
Enterprise Bureau is an enterprise support organization and a media platform for stakeholders of early-stage entrepreneurship. At Enterprise Bureau, we seek to offer opportunities through a digital ecosystem for youth-led startups to grow their businesses. We connect youth entrepreneurs and innovators to ESOs and governments for a stronger network that will foster the growth of innovative enterprises in Africa.
At Enterprise Bureau, we inform youth entrepreneurs and innovators of resources and opportunities to maximize their success.
My name is Arthur, that nature has a way of bringing people together. When I saw the lineup of speakers, knowing very well that I'm coming to impact and also be impacted. But before I even start anything, I want to let you know that the person whose name I bear, the chief entrepreneur I ever know, my father is here with me, he's at the back, so I just want to give you that acknowledgement. Thank you. He started at the age of 15 and I keep learning from him. Okay, so I'm going to do a bit of teaching and I would like all of you to grab your pens and papers and at least put down something. By the time I leave here, you should have something on your paper. Thank you. Okay. So in order to do justice to the theme for this event, we have to look at the mega trends, the system, strategy, funding, sustainability in general, innovations. And I'll just go straight. I'll go straight to looking at NEET. I don't know if any of us here has come across this word, N-E-E-T, NEET. That is no education, employment, or training. Globally, there are about 19 young women and 11% young men who are without any education, employment, or training. NEET rates capture more individuals who want to work, but they are not seeking any employment. They are just home. As you can see from the picture, they are either discouraged from their workplaces, they want to change work, or they have been sacked for one reason or the other, or there is nothing interesting to them. So they are just home. They actually want to work, but the opportunities are not there, and they are also not seeking any opportunity. So globally, these are the statistics. Now let's zero in on Ghana and see what is happening. Okay, so when you come to Ghana, you look at when you look at the transition from basic education to apprenticeship, vocational institutions, technical institutions, and the senior high schools, the figures are projected for everyone to see. Just watch the screen and see what is happening. When we pick from the basic education to senior high school, there are about 55% of people who are able to progress from their basic education to senior high school. And then from senior high school, the public and the private tertiary education, they are able to just pick about 29% of those people. So you can see that Ghana is hovering around 71% of people who are not having any education, training, or employment whatsoever. And that figure must be scaring us enough to rethink. If we are having all the education, and at the end of the day, we have this number of people who are sitting in the house and not interested in anything. These are people that cannot make any meaningful contribution towards the development of our nation because they have no voice whatsoever. They have no income to spend as consumers. They cannot invest either as savers. And these are people that we need to focus on, and we are having about 71% of them. Should we be thinking about re-education? The statistics is also showing that very soon the jobs in the market are going to be automated. So we need to be rethinking along that line and see if we have to review our curriculums or venture into entrepreneurship full scale so that we can reap the benefits of education. Okay, so the world will need to create about 600 million new jobs, more than 200 million in sub-Saharan Africa alone. And how are we going to create the jobs? How are we going to get there? That is why we are all here. Okay, so having established that, with that data in mind, let's come back to the reason why we are here. When we hear the word entrepreneur or entrepreneurship, most of the times we think about some categories of people. And I want to tell you that if you have ever identified a need in your lifetime and have filled it or solved it, you are an entrepreneur. The primordial edge, the relentless seek-to-serve attitude is what conferences such as this seek to encourage. And then, of course, there are stages of entrepreneurship. And by extension, all of us here are entrepreneurs, but then there are stages. So how do you maintain and how do you also align yourself for the kind of funding that you need to drive your business? Why are we discussing this? Young entrepreneurs need endless access to funding in order to build and perfect their products and services and expand their reach and ultimately scale up. Unfortunately, access to funding is a big issue among every entrepreneur. Everybody talks about money. There is no money, but in reality, there is money everywhere. Someone said that the cheapest thing you can get on earth is money. Money is everywhere. Yes, you may doubt it, but you should be asking yourself, is this the kind of money I want to go for? That is the reason why you are not reaching out for that money. You need to align yourself, and then, of course, know that this is the particular money that will be okay for me, then you go in for it.
Distinguished guests, I'm so happy because we have people who are privileged like you. When I started work some few years ago, I had just an ordinary certificate from a school in a village in the eastern region. They call St. Peter's. You have to walk about 30 minutes to come to the town. But I started, and by the grace of God, we have been able to achieve a lot. I'll tell the story. Then when I tell the story, it will encourage you to know that you can do better and you'll be the giants of the future. Was it 1981? How many years now? About 41 years ago. I'm quite an old man, just that I'm very, very handsome. I left school at the peak of the 1981 revolution. Unfortunately, my father had died a year or two earlier, and a typical poor man, my father's nephew who took over, was not ready to look after us. So a friend of mine told me that, Kofi, Connie, the way they are business, why don't you get something doing? Get something. What? At that point in time, 21 years. A dear partner committee my But the challenge is that if you are an entrepreneur, look out there where there are difficulties and challenges. Addressing those ones are the ones that gives you the wealth and the fame and whatever you are looking for. You should be able to identify problems, difficulties, and challenges. And when you are finding the solution, that creates the wealth that we are looking for. Whoever thought that collecting Ola, Zoom Lion, and now everybody wants to be like Zoom Lion, to collect the garbage and those things. Others are processing it. But if you were asked after university to go out there to collect what, you are looking down on me. So at the peak of the revolution, all I could do was, people, the then president decided to stop importation of essential commodities, including soap, milk, and all those things. So people started doing the Don't Touch Me soap with caustic soda, soda ash, oil, and salt. And that is what was going on. So one day, I went to a man to tell him that I want to learn that soap. Then said, you go to St. Peter's, you come out and come and do this. Yes, I said, yes, I want to do it. And whilst I was talking about going to learn Don't Touch Me soap, I didn't have any money. And there was nobody to support me. And a friend of mine told me that, if you know what you do, I want you to be helping finding things for people. So if somebody needs something from Accra, I will tell him that I will come to Accra to look for it. When I come, I get some commission. So I started doing that. Let me tell one interesting story. When I was young, the first time I was coming to Accra, my dad told me that if you go to Accra, if you don't take it, they will steal your money. So first, I'll put on shorts, sneaker. Then I'll put the money in there and put my trouser on and put the belt. So when I want to buy something, I finish negotiating with you, I'll ask you if I can have somewhere to ease myself. I'm going there to remove the trousers, take the money to come and pay for it. A typical village boy. And that is how I started. So I started working and I got 5,000 old cedis. 5,000 old cedis is 50 pesos today. And that 50 pesos today is what has brought Shaba to the level that we are now. You see, it's not just about capital. The fields are white. The fields are white. There are a lot of things out there. Don't always dream and think that you need to get 10 million, 20 million to start something. Look at it, be determined, have the vision, start it small, grow it, and you'll be there. I remember a lady in my church came to me and said, "Oh, Elder, me per se, me ye business." I said, "What type of business?" She wants some 10 million those days to go to Togo. I said, "Togo 10 million? Me, I respect money. Honestly, I'm a typical quote-trained man. I respect money. I don't play with money." Then I said, I can't get to the 10 million. Where do you live? Then he just, described it. I said, "Well, do you know what I can tell you? That area, a lot of people are just trying to move in there. Why don't you consider frying yams?" Then she signs me frying yams, a lady. I said, "Yes. If you want to fry yams, you need just not more than 300 cedis to buy some frying pan, a flight oil, yams, and some few things to start doing something." She didn't mind me. She left. She tried. After some months, she came back again. Then I said, "I still stand by frying yams." Reluctantly, she added beans. Within some months, she had a spot you could value for about 2,000-3,000. After a year or so, it was a complete sport. The idea is having a vision, starting it small, and developing it to grow. When I started Don't Touch Me So, that was not my dream. And still, where I want to be, I'm going there, and I'll be there. I will be there. I did it for a period, and within 6 months, I'd raised enough money, opened the first shop. Do you know what I was selling? I was selling ladies' wear, braziers, panties, all those things. I remember a friend of mine came to, "Hey, Kofi, Obama Oton and my drugs." I look at him, then I said, "I have to do it. Because if I decide to sell men's dresses, I must be frank, how many will buy? I need 1 jeans and 2 shirts, and that is enough. But the ladies will take this, that, this, and we're playing on them." I remember once I came to Accra, I bought some type of panties, and every lady who comes there will want to buy some. The next time I'll change the style and colors they will want to buy. So I was making a lot of money out of it. From there, I was just moving on. What I was doing was to build capital. After that, I went into chainsaw machines and parts. At a point in time, I was the biggest importer of chainsaw machine and parts in Ghana. And I'll supply almost every sawmill in this country. When I started the Don't Charge Me soap, I start as early as 4 a.m. That is what we call discipline. 4 a.m., I'll split the firewood myself with chisel and hammer, set up the fire, prepare everything, and start working before 7 o'clock, the employee will come. I did that religiously for 6 months. Then I raised 23,000 to start that fancy shop selling ladies' wear. And whilst I was doing that, I was determined that I was going to make a certain amount of profit every month. And religiously, I was doing that. So I tagged myself to cap my spending. I started eating more breakfast. I was eating kenke and egg. Kenke doesn't go with egg. The gas knows that the best is kenke and fish. But those days, I could buy 1 crate of eggs for 1 month. I'll use water heater to boil one, buy kenke, get some shito, and that is it. I was trying to save a lot of money. When you think, you see Shaba, and people talk about Shaba, that is the beginning. Discipline, focus, being focused, and be determined to get somewhere. So I'm not surprised that after 6 months, from 5,000, which is 50 pesos as of today's currency, I could raise 23,000 to open the second shop and employ the second person over there. When I was 22, 23, I had employed about 7 people. The first time I earned money, somebody paid me when I went to Parliament. When I was giving 3,900, I had 2 expatriates taking more than $4,000 each. So I asked myself, what is it? Maybe the only thing is that the love and desire to serve your nation. If it's about money, that is not where the money is. The money is about you trying to make it as an entrepreneur. And you are privileged that at least you have a basic education. Most of you here have degrees. So you are far better than Shaba starting. And if I did it, then you can do far more than that. The first thing is that be determined that you want to work and you want to let it work. One thing I see is that when the young men start making money, they don't respect money. I've gotten this today. They want to show off. They want to enjoy themselves. They want to spend on people. You understand what I'm saying? If you don't respect money, money will never respect you. When I was working, doing all these things, making money, I never had a tape in my room. Tape. Yes, the piece, whatever the people make noise and all those things. All that I believe in was working to make money, to make what I wanted to do. When I was getting married, I was at the age of 25. I was 25. My wife was 21. Then we asked some prominent man in court to give me the car for the wedding. Then at the 9th hour, he said, Pentecost, what in the car, I wear the car to do. It's your own car, mommy. And I'm a catcher, Madame Fabio, so for Tazimra. Penami, mammy, so soon said, Nibanko, wedding on the Tazim. I am saying, all that is important is about the blessing, not the fanfare. So, fortunately, a friend of mine, the catcher me said, Mrs. Pint is non-toby mamma, or by wedding it between a cow they buy, and or the mammy, and on the taxi. That is how I got a car for my wedding. But when I was 27, I had 7 private cars in my house. Because I was determined to work and work and work. All around this time, I was in the village in Koko. At a point in time, I realized that I was getting choked over there. Choked in the sense that you have money to do many more things, but the environment does not allow you to stay there. If I can buy 1,000 bags of rice to sell, and Nkoko can consume only 500, there is no way you need to buy 1,000 and still continue to stay over there. So I had to move out of town to come to Accra. That brought me to Accra in 1990. I started moving around. One day, I went to a shop to buy cables on a project. Then the person mentioned, I said, what? This for this price? Then he started telling us, we don't even get it. We have to get it from Nigeria. Nobody's importing cables. I said, what? Nobody's importing cables. How do we import cables? Then I took, there's a TELUS on the address on it, I picked it. I sent a TELUS to UK, and the prices was less than a third of what we were selling here. Then what came to my mind is that I'll go to UK to buy cables. Then they say, my friend who gave me car for it, they say, Kofi, they won't give you the visa. You see me, I'll go for the visa. So with the TELUS business registration documents and everything, I went to the embassy. The first thing is that, what is it? If they don't give it to me, I'm in my country doing my business. So the lady asked me some few questions. Then when she said, come 1 o'clock for your visa, then I started laughing because I didn't even believe she was going to give me the visa. So she gave me the visa. So is that easy? They just gave me the visa. So a friend told me that, Full Gospel people are having convention in the US. Why can't we also take advantage and go? When there were adults in front of me, about 5 of them, they refused all of them. When it got to my turn, why do you want to go there? I said, oh, for spiritual upliftment. What do you do? I told the person about my business. Where are your documents? I showed him all the documents. Then he said, pick your visa. Your visa is approved. What am I trying to say? Whilst you want to be an entrepreneur, try to work on documentations. Register your business. Register your business. Have a profile. When he asks you, do you have a business profile? No. All you have is a complimentary card. That is not enough. Start to package your business. Things that you are doing. It's a process. And as you move on, you will get there. So I started doing it. I went there. So when I went to US and the first time I went to UK and they were talking about UK, I realized that the rules were some small things, the steps, and I said, so these are the things people are so happy about. Oh. But I had in mind, I had taken some cables address. So I went to the people. Then I negotiated, I got a very good price. Then he said, how are you paying? Then I said, can I have somewhere to do something? I went to pull out my account sterling. I said, cash? The person looked at me like this. Because they were not buying the letters of credit and this and that. By a typical village boy, I came with cash. So the man looked at me and took the cash and said they should give me 50 pounds for bringing cash. And after that, they took me to the beach, a typical command, to buy things for me, to shop for me. I said, oh, you see? And that is how things started in Accra here. At a point in time, I was importing every cable before Angola and all those people came into cables. All the fittings were started by Shaba. I was not looking at just one item. I was looking at opportunities. Try to look around. The fields are wise. The harvest is ready, and take advantage. Shaba has done so many things, but at the end of it, we are getting to where we want to be. We are getting there. If you want to be an entrepreneur, open your eyes. Just be ready for the opportunity and take advantage. People are thinking about the difficulties in Ghana now, the challenges in Ghana now. Why don't you take opportunity? take advantage of the difficulties and do something new. So we started coming to Accra, doing a lot of things. We joined the Chamber of Commerce. At a point in time, I was a regional chairman. I became the national president and finally became the president of the Chamber for the whole Africa. And it opened a lot of avenues. And that is what is keeping me going now. I took advantage of the situations and times. At every point in time, there are a lot of opportunities around. Look around, be focused, and know that you want to do something. And when we have that right mind, you think about it and you'll definitely get there. I'm not a one who copy what people do. I always want to be the number one to do things. Don't try to be copying. If you are copying, when it comes to difficult times, you will lose out. Because every business has its ups and downs. There are challenges and difficulties. But if it is your own business initiative, you enjoy the challenges and you make the best out of it. If it's your initiative, begin to do things differently. And twice you do it, you will definitely make it. Whilst you are going on to learn to know about the business and learn to be abreast of time, I told you I was just an ordinary person. So one day, we were talking about politics, and I told a friend that the way things are going, I want to get involved. I said, with O level, I don't know what happened. Then I said I'll go to school. So I had to decide to go and study, stop everything, because I need to be at par with them. Why? I was there and I was invited to join the Commonwealth Business Council. They selected 2 people from Ghana. They gave me a letter with Dr. Yamson, Unilever, and one was Kofi. Because of that, I turned down the invitation. I was feeling so inferior. And I felt, oh, so this thing, I can't go there. Then what I have to do is to go back to school. And I did. Don't be satisfied with what you have. As you are trying to be an entrepreneur, you've got to also study to be at par, because you get to a certain level. I had a privilege one day to address the UN on African Entrepreneurship Day. That is 25th November 2015. I won't forget that day. Big day, village boy. Hey. And for that matter, a Pentecost boy going to address the United Nations. I didn't sleep that night. I prayed there, I said, God, have your own way. By the time I slept, when I woke up, it was already 8 a.m. So I was shaking like this. I just put on my suit and other things without even going, because I was getting late. If I had not studied or had not been to school, the inferiority complex and other things would have destroyed me. I had a privilege to go to the European Union to talk about private sector and a lot of things. But the background is just an ordinary level. My brothers and sisters, you are privileged. The fields are white, the harvest is ready. In these difficult, challenging times of our country, this is where your entrepreneurship leadership should come out and begin to take advantage and make money. We are planning, a lot of things are going to happen. Don't think that it's going to be easy. I'm a politician. It's not going to be any easy. So what are you planning ahead? What are you trying to do? I met my board and said, we are going to make sure that we import brown rice at all costs. Brown rice, because you have to be able to get it duty-free as a raw material, process it here, because it's going to be a challenge on food. Difficult days are going to come. So what are you planning to take advantage of that? As I speak to you now, we have 7 factories. We are going to do more. And all are looking at the challenges and difficulties so that we can just address the issues by addressing the issues to make good money. We are bringing a plan to, because most people are eating noodles. Noodles is from cassava starch and some flour, and that is the end of it. So when we start to do producing noodles and people are not getting food to eat, we are solving the problem, but we are making good money. We are putting a lot of things in place to be able to take advantage of the situations that we are in. If you want to be an entrepreneur, look at the challenges and difficulties. Just look around you. I was telling somebody, saying he doesn't know what to do. I say, common toothpaste we import to Ghana. Common toothpaste. Bamboos are all over. If you go to Kwao, that's why I know, that's why I always use Kwao as an example. Before you climb the mountains, bamboos are left, right, everywhere. And the machine is less than $5,000. So if anybody can buy a car and use the car, you can set up a factory. People are using cars $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. To set up a toilet roll factory is about $12,000. If you are to supply only Nungwa is environs with toilet roll, you are a millionaire. You are a millionaire. Because it's a dirty thing everybody is using. The fields are white. Then we import toilet roll from China. My God. We are importing toothpick. There are a lot of things that we can do as entrepreneurs. Don't look at the big oil businesses. Look at the small ones and start with them. Don't wait for my sister to come and give you some $100,000 or $200,000. You can start with as low as 2,000 Ghana cedis, and you will make it. You will make it. There are so many things that people can do, but they are looking at the big things. I started small. Life is looking at like a vein. The base is very small. As you go up and it opens up. If you don't do it that way and you start it big, along the line you will collapse. You learn as you move on and you try to address the challenges whilst you go on. That is what equips you and gives you the experience to handle bigger things. Now if you give me $100 million today, I'll know what to use it for. But if you had given me $1 million some years back, I would have run away from it. I remember there was a time somebody called me from South Africa. Oh, Shaba, we can give you some loan. I said, how much? They said, even 1 million, 2 million. I said, no, I don't want it. So they said, how much? I said, 50,000. I said, what? But village boy from Boko, what is 1 million? They convinced me, and I took $750,000 buyer's credit. I started importing things I didn't need. If you say you want this, I say I will import for you because I have a credit line. I started Coca-Cola, car tires, car battery. If anybody comes, I want this, I say I'll import it. Because at that time, I wasn't so mature to manage such things. So it's like the money is there. A Pentecost elder, somebody comes to me, he wants to do the refined application. Then I say, oh, I'll import the bottles and the covers for you. My wife told me that, are you part of application now? Why? Because there's money there to be used. There's money there to be used. My time is up. Distinguished future entrepreneurs, you are our future. If you fail, you have failed us as a nation. But I think you can do more than we have done. You are privileged to have mentors who will help you to tell you to do the right things. We didn't have that opportunity, but the best I can give to Ghana now is to tell you how to do it and do it right. And when I'm able to do it, that gives me satisfaction. Because it comes to a time, it's not all about money. It's about the legacy you are leaving behind. How you are impacting on the lives of men. That is what gives the inner joy and satisfaction. And I also wish that out of this, as we move on, we'll get the more Shabbos, we'll get the more chums, we'll get the more seekers and all these things. Mind you, all these people we are talking about, those we call entrepreneurs of today, the people you know did not have the opportunity to have the degrees that you are having. It means therefore that if you put your ass together, you'll be far more than Shaba and the big names that you have, because you have been prepared. You have what it takes to engage, to negotiate, and to deal with people. We had to learn it from the scratch, but by God's grace, we are where we are. I want to say that believe in yourself that you can do it. Believe that you have to start it small and grow it. You can't just get it done within a day. It's a matter of time. I've done business for 41 years now. I started at the age of 21. I'm 62, and I'm so happy for what God has done for me. I have never regretted, and I'll keep on doing. Now the best I can do is to impart on you, to share with you, so that the future of the country will be brighter, because you are an entrepreneur. Because you are also going to create the needed employment. Not MPP, not Attendees, not CPP. It's the private sector that will make Ghana what Ghana has to be.
The first thing I notice about people who do well in business is that they have a prevailing purpose. There's a purpose which is higher than the just trying to do something. You know, he was talking about why should we go and be importing some things when we can produce it here. Your foray into business must mean more than simply wanting to make money. I am not successful in media because I just want to make money. There's a purpose behind that. People say, you've been on radio for 18, 19 years. Every day you are shouting. Why? There's a purpose beyond just winning awards. Most successful people, there's something deeper. So I don't know whether you're already in business, but there must be something much deeper than just making money. Now, in fact, one of my mentors says, if you love people, you will like money, because money can help you make a difference. But if you just get the money without having a purpose, you waste it. They gave him 750,000. At the time, he didn't need it. He was importing everything. If you give him 750,000, I'm sure he needs more than 750,000, because when the purpose is large, you can do more. Do you get what I'm saying? And now that you are young, have a purpose. And your purpose must not just be to be on the front page of a newspaper or to get money so you can marry another wife. Though that's not why God is giving you. I'm a Christian, so I'm speaking to you from a kingdom perspective. You must be kingdom oriented. Am I making sense? So the media I'm doing, I see it as an assignment God has given me, because media will help change the minds of Africa's youth. So I'm not doing radio because I want to bring two honorables to come and argue, and after that I'll collect 100 CDs from them and put my picture on Facebook. It is media that will change the minds of our young people. And I have had that purpose for over 20 years. So I'm successful because I have a purpose. And when you pray to God and say, God, this is what you've given me to do. Help me succeed. Now this is a prayer. A lot of people go to God and say, Charlie, God, bless me. If I get money, I'll give you some. But, you know, if he gets 100, you give God 10. If he gets 1,000, you give God 100. But when he gets 1 million, Charlie, 100,000 is too much. Sorry, in the crowd, you know. So you just, let me maintain. You don't understand. And you see, God is, you can't be wiser than God, And I'm now understanding why God gave me success in media. So you need a definite purpose. Does this make sense? You need a definite, and your purpose predates you. Your purpose is not, I just want to do it. God, he said to Jeremiah, before I formed you, I knew you. So God has a purpose for you. Now, if God can have a purpose for a person, why won't he have a purpose for a business? Why won't he have a purpose for a country? So even I think a lot of countries are struggling because we don't know our purpose. It's very important. You are not going into leadership because you just want posts. It's because you want to make a difference. Am I making sense? So you need purpose. Am I going back? I'm going forward. Good. Now, your purpose exists before you were born. When you understand your purpose, it means that you have vision. Vision is when you understand your assignment. Everybody needs vision. Without vision, the people perish. Nobody sitting in front of you achieve anything without a vision. But that vision is based on knowing what the purpose is. And then when you pursue the purpose, you are in ministry. So even though I'm not a pastor, I am in ministry. He is in ministry. We are all in ministry. Ministry is service. Am I making sense? Saka is into the housing service. He's serving people with houses. He's building houses for people. Ethel is helping people to grow their business. It's ministry. So you must approach what you are doing from a ministry. You are here to serve. That's why God will bless you. Not because you just want 20-story buildings. How many of them can you be buried in? Am I making sense? So you must be kingdom oriented. It's very important. God has a kingdom. And we all can do the same thing. Some can open stores, some can build houses, some can build radio stations. But it's all business. The grace I have in media, I won't have it in housing. I won't say, Charlie, Saka is my mate. He went to Motown. I got first class. I don't know whether I got first class. How can he build a house? Well, that's not how the thing works. God has given everybody his area. So you must know your area. My area is media. Even if you bury me and I wake up, it's media I'll do. I can't do store. No, I don't have the anointing. Shabba has the anointing for store. The only entrepreneurship I've done is in media. A few of my friends came together. We bought airtime and we did some programs on another station. That was when I was in radio. We started doing TV. We formed the company. But my grace in entrepreneurship has to do with media. Because before I was born, it is media God gave me. Do you understand? So what did God give you? That's what to help you go through difficult times. If you don't know what God gave you, or you don't know what you were made to do, Ghana will like copying too much. Somebody is doing a communication center, I want to do the same thing. No. That's the first point. So you must have what I call prevailing purpose. Right? This is what unifies everybody who's successful. A purpose which is much deeper than simply acquiring wealth. All right? The second thing we notice is that, why do I keep going back? People who are successful, they are people-oriented. Your most appreciable asset as a businessman is people. There are people I take from Legon for national service. Right now, they are hosting programs on TV. When I took him, he didn't know anything. In 5 years' time, he's somebody the whole nation is listening to. I've added value to the person. So whatever business you are doing, you must understand how God sees people. God didn't come to save trees. He came to save human beings. He sent his only son, a person. So if you are in business for the right purpose, you will not use people. So when you are praying for God to help you in your business, pray for God to give you people to work with. It's not you need people before capital. People. You can be a great person. If your secretary is not correct, it can destroy your own business. One of the journalists I respect, he was accused of plagiarism because one of his editorial team went to copy somebody's work, put it on the screen. And this is in the Western world. It almost destroyed his business. So if you are rising in your area, all your secretaries, they are still taking trotro. They are still living in chamber and hall. You are the only person making the money. Every time you and your wife is traveling abroad. One day you come back, they've left you. So we focus on people. We need people to work with. People shouldn't work for you. They should work with you. They must have a stake in the business. Not necessarily shares, but they must know that we are building something. And you must know this now. Am I making sense? Very important. So, and the third thing, your business must make people's lives better. So, if you have the right purpose, I'm doing media. I'm not doing media because I want to build 1,000 radio stations. I want to improve people's lives. So if you listen to me with your wife on your way to work, you will learn something. So I put human beings at the center of my business. No matter what you do, whether you're a teacher, you're a plumber, you're a mason, if people are important to you, that's how you secure God's blessings. Even the guy doing the T-row is solving people's problems. Am I making sense? So you must be people-focused because God likes people. He loves people. So don't do business and use people. Grow people. Hello? And one of the greatest legacies you can leave is how many people came out of you. How many people can replicate your model? That's the difference between success and significance. He mentioned the word legacy. That's legacy. Abedipele's legacy is the 3 boys he gave us. Not all the skills. He was very skillful. By his time is finished. Now his son is playing. Can you imagine? That's his legacy. There are some who played with him. We don't know what they've left. Abedi has 3 boys who play. 2 of them are in the national team. So if nobody can come out of the matrix you do, if you are the only star in the company, you are not doing something right. Am I making sense? Jesus was very interested in people. He didn't leave a house. He left 12 men. And those 12 men, what they started, we are still following it today. He left 12 men. When the 12 men met in the upper room, they were 120. Most of the mega churches have more members than Jesus. But his kingdom will know no end. So you must understand the critical nature of people. Am I making sense? Now, because the second speaker spoke a lot about money and capital. Now, this feel I'm giving you, I was moderating a panel last week. A panel of, they were talking about business. And in moderating the panel, I picked 4 points from the panel. They were talking about how to support small growing businesses. And as a moderator, I listened to all of them. There were guys from Nigeria, there was a guy from the US, a couple of guys from Ghana. And some of the points I've brought on this slide. Right? So, the third, I think it's not a go. Patient capital, very important. Patient capital. I think they spoke about it. On that panel, there was somebody from a bank and somebody from venture capital. Right? A lot of people say we don't have access to credit in Ghana. As he said, you don't need a bank loan yet. First, put your own money in the business. Most of the people who are successful, they started with their own money. Put skin in the game. One wise man said, great businesses have 3 F's that support them: friends, family, and fools. They believe in you at the beginning of the business. So a bank is not where, I'm sure you know this, you are training in this area. So it's not about money. It's about the right kind of money. Because on that panel, there were 2 kinds of money. For most small businesses, that one type of money will destroy them. Do you follow me? Second thing we notice in Ghana, if you go to the banks, most people prefer loans to equity. It's not necessarily the best. In Western world, a lot of people believe in equity. Somebody brings money to get a stake in your business. Ghana, we are too infa. Everybody wants to do. Well, in fact, when you go to Registrar General's department, over 90% of our businesses are sole proprietorships. We don't like partnership. We don't want to share. We want to die in our socks. It's not a good thing. A lot of the people who do well here, the Lebanese, the Syrians, and all these people, they know how to share among themselves. So let's learn that. Do you understand? So that's the next point. Partnerships. We need partnerships. And now, a partnership doesn't mean go and give your business to somebody. What you need to do is to get complementary skills. If you read Amoabin's book, his business partner wasn't like him. But there are disciplines you don't have that you need in a partner. Most of our companies don't do well because we don't understand sharing. Now, if you are going to change the narrative, at some point you must enter a partnership. Not necessarily because it's just fashionable to do, but 2 are better than 1. And sometimes what you are looking out for is so I'll give you a good example. There are people you must have the same vision, but their skills must be complementary. Hello? So in looking for a partner, I'm not saying start as a partnership. I'm saying it will get to a point where you will need somebody to come on board. Sometimes it takes that partnership to move to the next level. You need to look for complementary skills. Somebody's complementary skills doesn't mean the person is the same as you. Sameness creates comfort, but difference creates reward. Sameness creates comfort, but difference creates reward. So maybe you are good with a certain class. Somebody's good with another thing. Then you bring the skills together. You need to pray about that too. But at some point in your business, now partnership is not just a business partnership. You can partner to do something. One of my graces I have in media is to bring businesses together. Because I interview a lot of people, people come to me and say, I want to do this. Who can I do it with? So maybe somebody has a football team and he wants investors. God has given me that grace. So I can say, Charlie, I've met this guy. I think he's a good guy. And when I listen to you and I listen to this guy, I bring people together. And in the little experience I have, I noticed that one has something the other needs. The other has something the other needs. It works all the time. So I've told a lot of my friends that as you start making your millions, if you forget me, God will punish you. Because I have joined, even this guy, 2 weeks ago I called him, but he didn't pick. A friend of mine who runs a company in some part of the world, they have over 6,000 people who were ready to buy houses. And they said, Charlie, recommend a guy who does real estate to address them about the real estate industry in Ghana. The first person I talked about was this Motown guy. But the number wasn't good. I think he was in the country. I called her like 3 times, so I called a pre-second. You know, so another guy. And I got through to his secretary, and they took the opportunity. I'm sure they will sell like 50 houses. Do you get my point? So I understand. What I'm saying is that you can't do it alone. You can't do it alone. So you need to understand. I mean, Google is the world's biggest company, right? There are 3 guys who started Google. Apple, there were 2 guys who started Apple. Even Facebook, there were guys who started it with him. So this one man, when you play draft, one man no chop. What's one man no chop as here? Do you know what one man no chop means? You are not a cool baller, eh? If you want to test if somebody is a cool baller, ask him, do you know what kwakwa is? Unim kwakwa. So unim kwakwa onye cool baller. I had a friend who were talking about playing spy, and I said kule, kalu, onim kule, onim kalu. That butter bread, that. So one man no chop. Very important. She doesn't know kwakwa. She doesn't know kule, kalu. She calls it playing cards. Onim spa. So can 2 work together except they agree? The thing I'll say about partnership is that be very careful. Now, there's a book written by a guy. He calls Business at the Speed of Trust. Trust is the currency of business. Trust is the currency of business. So I'm not saying just go and meet anybody and join them. If you are trustworthy, you will make great business. If people can trust you, they will give. So being trustworthy is being credible and being honest. Now, if I trust somebody, contracts are reduced. Lawyers have a lot of money because human beings are not honest. So everybody has to secure themselves. So at some point, you have to be very clear what the partnership is about. So I'm not saying go and do business with your friend, right? Get the right agreements. There must be exit clauses and all of that. But you must know what you lack if you are going to go to the next level. Am I making sense to you? So I was talking about purpose. Purpose is very critical. Then I was talking about patient capital. Because she spoke about money, I won't elaborate there. I've spoken also about being people-oriented. Don't use people and dump them. Because you are going to make a lot of money. You must have a track record of people you've helped. Martin, he said he worked with me. Imagine when Martin was working with me, I was just harassing him. Where is Martin? He's gone. I'm sure I was a good boss. So even though he doesn't work with me, he's saying here that my program is the best. I hope they don't sack him when he goes back to his company. But you must have people who have gone through you, who you can show that this guy, I learned this from him. Because wealth is not just money. Wealth is not a money word. Wealth is a supply word. Wealth is not a money word. If I need something and I can call somebody in the Bank of Ghana or Kolebu and they'll do it for me in 2 minutes, I may not need $1 million to do it. So wealth is not a money word. Wealth is a supply word. Because if you have $1 million and you are locked in a cage, it won't help you do anything. Am I making sense? I'm not saying don't make money, but what makes money valuable is currency. It can be changed quickly. But if you have credibility and you have honesty, you are very wealthy. Because wealth is a supply word. It's not a money word. Think about it. It's supply. If you need it and you can convert it to what you need, it's currency. Hello? Let's end with 2 more. Today everybody has focused. I don't want to talk too much. This is important. Portals. I'm talking about online. The kind of business we have, where we are now. One of the things I do is I talk to business owners about how to. A lot of people want to come on air. And I say, don't come on air. You are too fresh. Get your house in order. I don't need to come on air. But get your back end in order. Saba has spoken about getting your documents in order. You need an online store. Whatever business you are doing, you need an online presence. And it's not Facebook necessarily. Facebook is not your address. Facebook is the signboard to your house. You can't do all your business on Facebook. What if Steve Jobs says, what's his name? Zuckerberg says, I'm going to charge £20 per page. Then your business is gone. So social media is the signboard to your location. You need a good website. A good website that possibly has an online store. I don't know whatever you are selling, whether clothes or whatever. Because now people are doing delivery. My wife, she doesn't go to, she can just sit down, buy something. I was going home yesterday. Somebody brought some clothes to me that I should go and give to my wife. And she paid by Momo. And she didn't go to the shop, she bought it online. So whatever you are doing, you need a portal. I went to Saka Homes. They have 2 strands. The property is listed. The price is there. You can start making. In fact, some of them have artificial intelligence. So when you go on the website, say, hello, how can I help you? My name is Ikea. Hey, how do you know my name? Then we start talking. So build your online presence. I call it portal presence. before you go to social media and before you come to traditional media. In fact, premature exposure in media can destroy your business. Make sure your tax is in order. Make sure you have a proven supply chain before you start advertising. Otherwise, wrong people will come and harass you. Some people, when I put them on air, we don't hear of them again because the exposure was too early. So build your back end. Am I making sense? But if you come here next year and you don't have a website for your business, it means you are not really serious. Because your website, I mean, imagine, how much does it cost to build a website? You need something for people to know who you are. In addition to where your shop is in Kokomlemle. And if you look at, there are people in my office who buy things from China because it's online. They don't go to Kantamanto again. And somebody brings on a motorbike to the office. So that's where business is going. So maybe you can do a workshop on how to create an online presence, how to make yourself findable, how to use the mix of social media to drive traffic. Real traffic is a very important skill. 20 years ago, you didn't need that. Now, without it, you will not survive. Am I making sense? So whether you are selling carrot or houses, you need to understand how the algorithm is. Do you know what an algorithm is? You don't need to learn to code yourself, but you must understand how YouTube, for example, how does YouTube decide which video you are looking for? You can say, I'm looking for houses in Ghana. How come somebody's house will come, this guy's house will not come? Some of it is paid for, but some of it is also just understanding the length of video to use, the keywords to put in there, and the kind of artwork to put in front of it. It's a whole industry. Am I making sense? And we have people who can help you do it. So maybe if you are here and you don't know how to do it, I have guys. They will charge you some small money and they will help you jet. One of them is the Jude, is at the back. Jude, give them a wave. It's a whole area of business. And you know the funny thing? Most of this they don't teach in university. As I'm sitting here, I'm learning something with my team. They are teaching us data visualization and business intelligence. So you take data, you get insight out of it, and you visualize it. I did economics. I got the first class from Legon. I went to UK. I don't know. Even though my paper certificate, I don't know the thing. So I've told myself that I don't need degrees, and I want to know how to do the thing. So when elections come, I want to go to code. I want to go to do the model myself. Do you understand? I want to understand the thing. In Ghana, we like certificate too much. I want to know the thing. So even if I don't have the certificate, I can explain it. So if you ask me, between NDC and MPP, who is going to win here? I can create a model to show you based on, not that I'm going to pay 2 million to some American to do it for me. Do you understand? So you must know the thing. And for me, these are the things which are called to my business. I'm a journalist. I'm a dealer in insight and information. So I must know it. So that's the portal. So you need to have a workshop on online business because it's going to change a lot of things. All right? And then the final thing, policy. As for this one, somebody asked a question last week. Where do you end your lobbying as a business person? I'm not saying go and start doing politics, but this group, there are other groups you must link up with. So there are some guys called Social Enterprise Ghana. Okay? There are lots of organizations that are coming together to form a policy for social enterprise and small business. We need a small business policy in Ghana. I always tell people that government's job is not to create a business, but they are supposed to create an environment. And I always use this example. We've had JIDA, we've had SADA, we've had NED, we've had NYA, we've had SUBA. When you take all those things, and you call, how many business people have they raised? Versus, take something like MTN Momo agents. They have over 400,000 agents. Did they come out of JIDA or anything? So this government sharing money is not business. Business is organic, it's private sector. Do you understand? So what government does is create a policy environment so that MTN can create 400,000 Momo agents. Not assemble 400,000 people and give each of them 1,000 cities and say we are creating entrepreneurs. It doesn't work like that. If they give you the money, you can take it. But I'm not sure that's the route to becoming a proper businessman. Business is very organic. In my little experience, I did a study on the government entrepreneurship programs. Most of them just waste our money. They assemble people from the same party or friends. They do some 2x4 training. They give each of them 5,000 cities. Most of them don't pay. And because some of them don't even understand how business is, by the time they even get the money, they've wasted the money. So business is organic. So our job is to get the right policy. tax policy. First 5 years, you shouldn't pay tax. Even if you pay tax, it will be very simple taxes. The policy environment to support you to acquire the right type of financing. Interest rates in Ghana are too high. They don't make sense. Do you get my point? Now, don't live your life and say, I don't like politics, so I don't read anything, I don't care about anything. You don't need to go and put your face on Facebook and insult somebody, but come together with other groups so you can lobby for sensible policy, irrespective of which party is in power. Because no matter how good you are, a foolish politician can destroy your life. And it's easier to destroy than to build. So, and because our politics is sometimes emotionally driven, some of the policies don't help us. So you can do all these things. Somebody can bring a policy that will destroy your business. So get interested in your country. Don't be a citizen who is only interested in you, your house, your family, your fufu, and forget everything. No, don't do that. The last one, I didn't put it here. You need God's presence. God is very important in life. You cannot achieve anything at a certain level without a spirit's involvement. I haven't reached here because I'm eloquent. It's God's grace. So, and you see, there are certain things God can show you in prayer that a business school will not give you. Some of my best programs I did, it didn't come out of editorial meeting. You wake up after your morning prayer, the thing drops, and you work on it, and it's like, Charlie, where did you get this from? It's the same in business. Truly successful business people will tell you that some of the best ideas they got, maybe he was even doing quiet time or he was about to sleep, and the thing came. And when the thing comes, don't sleep, wake up and write it down. When God tells you something, so let me wake up, you will forget it. So when I get the thing, sometimes I even record it on my phone. It's very important. If you take this phone, you're taking something from me. Am I making sense to you? So you need purpose. You need to be focused on people. You need to have the right kind of capital. You need the right kind of partnership. Then you need the right presence online. You need the right policy environment. You need God's presence. Those are my concluding thoughts. Thank you very much.
Let me say, entrepreneurship is identifying opportunities and taking advantage of it, seizing the opportunity and strike at the right time. If you're able to get it done, then you're able to generate the needed capital to help you do other things. It's not the normal day-to-day things that makes you great, but identifying opportunities, taking advantage and working on that will make you a certain level. You see, the mistake we are making is that we think government should create employment. It's about the individual indigenous entrepreneurs who create the wealth, who create the employments for governments to take advantage. Governments to make policies that will enable us to be able to create many jobs. And that is what government does. But creating jobs is the work of the private sector and entrepreneurs. You see, when we talk about providing support to entrepreneurs, it should be entrepreneurs. It should not be just because I belong to party A or party B, I am supported. We should identify rare people who are entrepreneurs, who are hungry for success. If we are not getting that people and we just throw in the support there, we don't do anything. There's somebody who can give 1,000 Ghana cedis and you make a lot out of it. Somebody who gives the 1,000 Ghana cedis, he improves the soup that day within a week, the money is finished. I was privileged to work or to be on the board of Maslow. Many people were giving monies. In my constituency, others spend the money within a matter of days. Some also use the same money to have developed and have made something for themselves. So it's about us being able to identify who are the rare winners and we support them. If we don't do that, the money will go to drain.
Purpose of our conference and other initiative in there. Say we are the woman. Say you two man quay in any man. None who need to say your boy. And the reas was a Crumbe or Dewa now Kutukum. So Crumbe or Denaso Kutukuma. Didn't Pani were Juma. Naisha Miss Magana recognize Juma, you want to Bibi, 1 year old. university a yɛrekɔ nyimpa bebree nso nyimpa hen wɔ nyɛ adwuma yɛ aban adwuma hen wɔ baba aban yɛntumi nhyɛ aban kutu dɛ ɔmfa adwuma nyinaa mmra ɔyɛ yɛn individuals no yɛde yɛsɔre na nyame mpa a wɔda ama yɛn yɛtumi yipue ne yɛde yɛ adwuma sɛ yɛn nyinaa yɛ town da aban ma yɛ adwuma a ɔman yɛbɛtumi ayɛ dɛn yɛntum obiara nso nyame abɔ dɛ ɛwɔ nyansa anaadɛ wama nimde bi wɔ wo mu a ɔde yipue nti yɛrehwɛ no kwan ne yɛbɛtumi yɛ aboa ama obiara ma nyame da ato no akoma so ɔwɔ no adwene no yɛbɛtumi wɔyie pue na yɛbɛtumi de ayɛ biribi na oyipue yɛbɛtumi ɔba yɛn nkyɛn dɛ ɔwɔ biribi dɛm no a yɛbɛtumi yɛahwɛ na yɛsiesie na yɛaboa no na wɔatumi ama adeprɛko no ebi a yɛnimde na abɛyɛ adwuma ɔyɛ adwuma ebi ɔkɔyɛ adwuma no ebi onyi sika ɔde bɛhyɛ mu yɛbɛtumi yɛahwɛ kwan yɛbɛtumi aboa no wɔ dɛm kwan no do ma dɛm agye no so abɛyɛ kra bɛhwɛ ɔma ɔkyerɛ no so wɔanya bi de ahwɛ n'abusuafo ɔno ɔbɔbɔ ma Ghana ayɛ yie biribi enyi hɔ a yɛbɛtumi ayɛ bio ɔman ne mu renyɛ mmerɛ ne mu bɔkɔ da ayɛ den bɔbɛyɛ den da na kyerɛ dɛ ɔno nso hia dɛ yɛn nso yɛboa nkurɔfoɔ a wɔbɛtumi yɛ biribi na wɔn nsa akɔ wan ɔnyɛ the first ɔnyɛ mɔtɔ de eni yɛayɛ biara nti yɛgudure yɛ kɔ every year biara ne yɛyɛ ebien na idea to business yɛwɔ ho kɔtɛ ne yɛbɔkɔ de yɛayɛ de yɛde enyimdefo a wɔwɔ entrepreneurship da abɔ na wɔn a wɔnyim nso wɔasua fi wɔn nkyɛn na yɛtumi de akɔ anim sɛ nyame yɛ adom a yɛrehwɛ dɛ yɛbɛtum every year biara ne sɛ yɛntum kora yɛaboa almost about 200 entrepreneurs yɛrebɔ mpae de nyame bɛma yɛ ahoɔden na wobɛma nkurɔfo so a wɔwɔ sika wobɛtum aboa wobɛtum agyina yɛn akyi na aboa ne yɛtum yɛtua ne dɛm nkurɔfo because obi wɔ hɔ no a ɔnyimde nso ɔnyi sika obi so wɔ sika so ɔnyim obi a wobɛtum aboa no ma wɔtum ayɛ nti yɛrehwɛ de yɛbɛtum ayɛ dɛm ade nyinaa ma Ghana abɛyɛ kra bɛhwɛ